Yep.
next one, number 6, is if you were adopted, part of foster care, or had to go live in another family's home because your parents lost their house or they couldn't take care of you. Even if that's grandmom or your aunt, it's still being displaced. Trauma number 7 is one that most people can really identify with. That was if you ever felt different. So if you were a chubby, overweight child, if you were skinny and gawky child and called the nerd, if you were bullied in any way, it could have been race related, culture related. It could have been you're an LGBTQ child trying to come out, or a teen, and you felt different, or you might look different, and people just don't accept who you feel you are. So many people can relate to this one in so many different ways. So that is usually very profound trauma 7. Trauma 8 is sibling trauma. This could be your sibling was picking on you and bullying you. Could have been they were born with a medical issue that needed more of mom's and dad's time, so you didn't have that same attention. Or most likely, they were the favored child, which we call the golden child. So either the star athlete, more handsome, more beautiful, the smarter child, you were always compared to them. Somehow you just didn't feel like you measured up. Trauma 9 has 2 traumas. And the other one used to be in the list at number 11. I had to bring it down to the top 10. So it's part 2 here. And that's community trauma. Because everyone around the globe right now is a part of this trauma we call COVID pandemic. And you can look at our little people now that can't go to school, can't play with their friends, always have to have a mask on, can't get too close to their playmates, afraid if mom and dad go to work, they might get sick and die. I mean, all these fear-based death messages around them, it will have an impact on them in 6 to 10 years when they're older adults. So we have to keep an eye on that. And then the other things are Mother Nature traumas like floods, fires, hurricanes, storms where mass communities are wiped out. Our mass shootings, our school shootings, these are all things that impact the community at large. Then let's go over to the family trauma. So with COVID, if those who lost their job, now they might lose their homes, or they can't pay their heat bill, or get enough food into the house. So now it's impacting the families, right? Before COVID, family trauma is also if a parent was ever incarcerated, if you grew up in a rough neighborhood and you remember being afraid there. It could be you're part of the military families in the US. Our families travel and move every 2 to 4 years. This puts the kid in a new school, then there they are again, the different new kid every 2 to 4 years, needing to make new friends again. So there's coming from a place of lack, struggling around money all the time. So these are some very common family traumas. Trauma 10 is mental health issues in your parents, and I'm part of the baby boomer generation. We didn't see our parents go to counseling. As a matter of fact, I remember I said to my mom when I was being bullied, I'm really upset every day. I need to go see a counselor. She goes, no one in this family will ever go see a counselor. And I said, then I'll grow up and become one. And I did.
They thought they thought it was crazy. Like
right.
So many people
they would not allow us kids
they would
to go get
not.
help.
Yeah, and you weren't even allowed to speak about it at that point, right?
No, it was very sad, and then my best friend was killed by a drunk driver at 16, my best childhood friend. I said, I'm really sad. I need to talk to someone. She goes, nope, this is life. You just need to learn to handle it. So that's the kind of emotion. I didn't even get a hug and say, here, I'm sorry you lost your friend. So that stoic, very tough woman, that was the survivor of, the 1925, with the way we went through in America, the Depression, she lacked emotion, so it was really interesting. But for kids, the 2 hardest things for them to negotiate in their parents are bipolar and borderline personality disorder. So borderline would be, I describe it as fast trigger anger, a lot of erratic moods. Sometimes when they're good, they're really great, but a lot of times they're really bad and horrid, and the kid never knows what to expect. And this adult could fly off at the handle and get raging angry over something nobody else would think twice about. Very hard personality to grow up under. And that child usually grows up with a lot of anxiety. And most people that coming to me have ongoing underlying anxiety, always with some bouts of depression.